Now going to question 18, reading the prompt, we can see that this is a grammar question. And let's go ahead and start reading with an eye toward grammar. In winter, the diets of these snow monkeys are influenced more by food availability than by food preference. Although the monkeys prefer to eat vegetation and land-dwelling invertebrates, those food sources may become unavailable because of snow and ice cover, forcing the monkeys to hunt for marine animals in any streams that have not frozen over. So to make sense of this, let's talk quickly about clauses and modifiers. So a clause has to have a subject and a verb. For instance, John jumped. If I add a weak conjunction at the front, since John jumped, it becomes a dependent clause. Now, a modifier, on the other hand, would be something that is missing the subject, the verb, or both. So, while jumping, John twisted his ankle. Or John, while jumping, twisted his ankle. Or John jumped, twisting his ankle in the process. ing words, by definition, are not verbs, and there's no mention of John or he in any of these yellow parts. So a modifier is missing the subject, the verb, or both. Now, applying that to this sentence here, we see that those food sources may become unavailable. Now, that's our independent clause. The food sources are going to become unavailable. So this whole thing here is our independent clause. It's the nucleus of the sentence. This part here, although the monkeys prefer to eat vegetation and land-dwelling invertebrates, that's a dependent clause. Because if we had said the monkeys prefer to eat vegetation and invertebrates, that would have been an independent clause. That could be written on its own. But with the word although in the front, it becomes dependent. And by the way, if you have a dependent clause followed by an independent clause, it gets a comma. But an independent clause followed by a dependent clause gets no comma. So this comma right here is the textbook comma that goes in between a dependent and an independent clause. Last but not least, we have the modifier at the end here, forcing the monkeys to hunt for marine animals in any streams that haven't frozen over. So we've got a dependent followed by an independent. That's a classic sentence. And then we have a little extra information being added to the end with this ing wording, because keep in mind, ing words are not verbs. Subjects and verbs are the things that make something a clause, the main part of the sentence, which for us is this part right here. That's our clause. So if you're going to have two clauses, you would need something very special to join them, like a semicolon or a comma fanboys. But having the ing kind of makes it possible to just tack that on to the end. Listen to how it sounds again. Although the monkeys prefer to eat vegetation and land-dwelling invertebrates, those food sources may become unavailable because of extensive snow and ice cover, forcing the monkeys to hunt for marine animals in any streams that have not frozen over. So ing words are not verbs, and to-do words, to hunt, are also not verbs. All of these non-verbs are more and more reasons why this part of the sentence here is a modifier. It's a little secondary part. And so the answer here is C.